Hi, my name is Rob Warner and I'm here to tell you something about a relatively new feature in AdWords. It's called Google Sponsored Promotions. Ignore the fancy title, it doesn't matter. These are ads in Gmail. Now, let me tell you a bit about what they are first of all. So what you need to know is if you are advertising to an audience who might use Gmail, which let's face it, is the #1 email platform on the planet. There are more Gmail users than any other email client. If your users might use Gmail, you can show ads to them in the Promotions tab of their Gmail inbox. So when they log in, you've got the regular inbox, they've got the Promotions tab and the Social tab. And at the top of the Promotions tab, there are 2 ads now. Now, here's what's clever. Those ads look just like a regular email with a subject line, as if it came in as a normal email. So they get clicked, which is fantastic for us. So what we do is we're going to show ads in that space at the top of the promotion section. When the user clicks it, they'll get a huge, almost full page image ad of your product or service, which is you can put whatever you want in that image, make it as engaging and as compelling as you like, and send the visitors through to your website. Now, a couple of specific use cases for this, because this is super cheap. What you might not know is these really targeted clicks typically cost 5 to 10 cents a click. You can build a huge audience just doing this one tactic alone. But let me give you a couple of things that are important that will make a big difference for you. So first thing to say, this is a Google display campaign. It's the same as any other campaign on the Google display network. So all the settings that you will use for other campaigns, you can use for this. First thing, the placement that we will use, you will choose a placement of mail.google.com. That's the placement we're going to target. That is Gmail. The second thing we can do with that is we can choose to use demographic information. So to narrow our target audience and not show ads to every single person in the world, we can choose men, women, and age groups, and unknown, because not everybody logs in, not everybody has a gender or an age assigned to them. So my suggestion would be target men or women as appropriate for your product, choose an age range that's appropriate for your product, and I would tend to start with to include the unknown users. Once you've done that, you target in Gmail based on keywords. And let's look at what those keywords are. Those keywords are words that appear in the email that the user received or in the sender of the email. So, this is where it gets super cool. We can use that to target, for example, our competitors. If you know that your competitors send email from a particular website, www.competitor.com, whatever their site may be, then you can use competitor.com as a keyword. So you can target an ad that shows specifically against your competitors. And you can break that down. So you could create a different ad for each individual competitor to target your strengths relative to that one particular competitor. That means, that's so powerful because you know that the person receiving that email is potentially in the market for the product that you sell. They are looking around, they have already found a competitor and are looking at their offers. You can now jump into that conversation with something better and different and more engaging and more interesting, or even just cheaper. And you can grab that prospect right from under your competitor's nose in their inbox. And your competition, because they're not in Gmail necessarily and they're not receiving those emails, won't even see it, so they won't know you've done it. It's completely under the radar. That's why that is such a super strategy to use, and you can do it for cents. These clicks are going to cost you 5 to 10 cents a go. So a competitor strategy is a phenomenal place to start. Okay, now let's look at another use for Gmail ads. Let's say you have a product to sell that you know has links to other products that are complementary to it, not competitors, complementary products. So let's say, for example, you sell a blender. We know that somebody has received an email with perhaps a delivery for a recipe book. You know they're buying recipe books, you know they're buying kitchen equipment, whatever it is appropriate for your product. Once we see that email come in, then we can look for the fact that it's a recipe book. We could look for the keyword recipe. And when we see that, show our ad for our blender, because we know that person's buying kitchen products. Again, this isn't a competitor. We're leading through the next step in the purchase process. So for your product or service, think, what is the product or service that the person is most likely to buy just before they're ready to buy my product. If we know what they buy first, and yours is the next in line, we can target those keywords. So we're naturally going to take them through the process of they've bought step 1, now we're going to show them step 2, which is your product. So you'll see how powerful these ads are. We can use creative strategies like this. We can even use strategies to upsell people who've bought our product already. So if we've sold them product number 1, we can show them ads to upsell them to product number 2, even though they're existing customers. Because they might not be reading all our emails. They might be doing other things, but we can still show them ads to upsell them to the next product because we know they're getting our emails. So that's just 3 examples of really good ways in which Gmail ads can be extremely cost effective and drive some great results. A couple of other things you need to know about them. When you're running Gmail ads or Google sponsored promotions, Google will charge you every time somebody clicks your ad just by clicking what looks like the subject line. When they click it and it opens up in full, you'll get charged for that. They haven't come through to your website at that point. All they've done is clicked, and you've still been charged for that. So you need to make sure when you're doing this, you have the right data showing on your screen. And the way you do that is when you look at your campaign, go into the columns button, click it, and you'll see the options on the left-hand side, one of which will be to show metrics for Gmail metrics. And there are 3 that you need to get. You need to get the clicks, you need to get the clicks to the website, and you need to get the one that says save them forwards. So you can see how many people are clicking your ad, how many people are then clicking on the big image ad and going through to your website. And that's perfect, because that's really helpful data. We can now optimize the headline to get the clicks to the image ad, the image to get the clicks to the actual website, and then we can optimize that process as well. So you'll see if we measure those 3 metrics along the way, we can make really good quality decisions. One final tip on Gmail ads. We've had to get someone to click the headline, the closed ad, to make them see the big ad. When they see the big ad, and we can use a nice big graphical image on this, a strategy we found really successful: open a loop. So give somebody partial information, give them curiosity, so that they then need to click through to your website to get the answer. Intrigue and an open loop is a great way to get someone to the website where you can close it for them and get the opportunity to sell something. That's it for this video. Bye for now.